Hello, everybody. How you doing? Let me make sure I can watch what's going on in the stream, because I'm not there yet. Boy, have we got a lot to cover today. My gosh. Let's go to that page right there, please. I'm late to my own party. Oh my gosh. Hi guys. Welcome. My name's John Limcool, and I am thrilled to show you all sorts of things that are new for Unify coming very soon. There's a new library of piano that I'm really thrilled to show you about. It is a piano that I recorded at my mom and dad's house while they slept. Single takes. This is the piano right here. And that's the recording setup I used. I had a little Tascam field recorder. It's got an XR, little left-right crossing microphones in it. And then I used a pair of Rode NT5s in the listening position. And I've recorded pianos for Korg where we had hundreds of thousands of dollars of gear, piano technicians sitting there, and when we get to certain bridge points between one set of strings and the harp and the other, they would adjust for an hour on the hammers. We did none of that. So it's not a perfect piano. It has lots of imperfections, but it plays really nice. More details on that coming. I'll show that in a little bit more. There's a lot to it. But part of what is making this possible, our philosophy since the beginning has always been to do updates and have libraries that support what the update provides. And at first 1.7 was just going to be a little small update. There was a bug with MIDI box, and we were going to fix that and a few other things. And then I went to my mom and dad's house, and I just brought my recording gear. I was just thinking about it. It wasn't like a big plan. And I started to record the piano. I didn't know till I got back to Portland, and I mapped it and played it. And I was like, this is really nice. And I was talking to Shane, who's in the house. We got to give a big shout out to Shane. He has been working like crazy on so much stuff. You guys are gonna, he took a little break to like recharge his batteries, and he is back with a vengeance. My goodness. So shout out to Shane for helping make all this happen. But inside of Unify, there's some new features. You see right here, we have the ability to see what libraries you have loaded and create what are called library subsets. I'll cover more details on that in a minute. We have things down here for loading patches, but he added, Morgan we'll talk about in a second too, which is, yay, Shane, yay. He has something he's including in Unify 1.7 it's actually been in the works for quite a while. When we showed Unify almost 2 years ago, we were talking about including Morgan in the next update. That's how long Morgan has been around. But now, Morgan is a reality. So in Unify 1.7, one of the things that's coming is Morgan. And Morgan is a set of 3 plugins. There's the drawbar layer. There is a cabinet, which has 2 different Leslie cabinets. You can mix and match the mix between how you want. And then there is a MIDI effect called Perk, Morgan Perk. And what this does is you have the ability to do like polyphonic perk, where you choose the amount of gate time that it's open. So any sound that even if it sustains a long time can now be forced to be just a little perk. But it also has, and my interface on my computer is not letting me do this very easily. Let me see here. If we go Morgan Perk, you can click right here. It's not going to let me. Okay. There's something weird with the graphics of this computer since I updated it. It does funny things like this. Let me see. If I move this, will it now let me choose between? There's different settings here, and it's not letting me change the settings. So if that's the case, let's quit Unify. One new thing, see how it says, are you sure you want to quit Unify? We now have safety. So let's go back to Morgan and call up Green-Eyed Perk. And now it should let me see, here's the Hammond Perk. And by doing this, it sets it to a mono legato perk, like a B3. And you can even choose the window and the decay, so that it will bleed over the notes just like a B3 does. So it's pretty accurate to what a B3 does. And a couple things. The cab, we have it set so that speeding up and slowing down is done with my sustain pedal, or I could also use my mod wheel. See how that is making it speed up and slow down? So the Leslie is able to control that way. There's another organ that we have that's and we have the ability to assign the mod knobs to the, so you can change your organ sounds. So if you want to do a sounds really nice, right? So this is going to be included in Unify 1.7, yay. And I have a lot of patches to make. There's going to be a lot of new patches that come with this update because of Morgan. And the other, which is Triggerbox. And Triggerbox is best shown by the piano, just because it was designed to take GuruSampler. So most samplers, right? Contact, Falcon, even the sampler inside of Logic Pro X, that one plugin has a map where you can load thousands of samples, and you can make groups, and some groups play when you play notes, some groups when you take your hands off notes, some groups play when you play sustain pedal, so you can get the piano pedal effect. Well, those are all actually MIDI actions. And so I talked to Shane, I was like, is it possible to make a MIDI effect that would not play until note off, or let me trigger something with a sustain pedal? And he's like, brilliant. So we have pulled apart a sampler and made it molecular. Just like Morgan, let me show you one more thing on Morgan really quick, because this whole update's about molecular things. If I want, I can change the organ sound to anything. I can go to where it had the Morgan organ part, and let's make it a unison synth patch. So I can make all sorts of new kinds of organs, not just B3. I'm not just stuck with drawbars, because the perk is a separate layer. These two layers right here, see how they're here? They're. Hey, Jazz Dude and all you guys, welcome. The perk is a separate layer than everything else. So the organ layer can be Serum or Omnisphere or anything you want to make new types of things that kind of have characteristics like an organ. So we've pulled apart the organ and we've pulled apart the sampler in this update, which is huge, 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 huge. So check this out. In MegaMagic keys, if we go to the C, not to the side, let's go just to the velocity switch, C3 right here. I have on this layer, let me introduce you to TriggerBox. This is TriggerBox. We decided to make this one simple and have presets that you can load. And then if you hit show details, boom, you get this more expanded detail showing you all the things TriggerBox can do. So we have it so you can set note offs. Here, let's do this. Let's mute the piano and I'll show you a couple of the cool things with TriggerBox, okay? So I'm gonna set to 100%. So when I play, take my hands off the keys, I get, that's the note releases of my C3 grand piano I sampled. And if I set this to be trigger when I play notes on, now they just play when I play notes like normal. I can also set it so that certain layers play when I push down a sustain pedal. And when I let up on the sustain pedal, it can be a different sound. So I have a TriggerBox set up so that it ignores notes, but when it gets a MIDI CC, it plays a note. And it can send notes off, it can send notes off, it can trigger notes. You can tell it what note, you can tell it what velocity, what gate time you want it to be. So you can do all sorts of insane things beyond just piano. I haven't even explored this yet because I've been busy with piano, but playing and having notes off that are then BPM delayed amounts to be like an echo type of thing. All sorts of possibilities here. So I've made, because of this, I now have sustain and I have that and notes off. I made it onto a separate layer so that I could have the piano. Here, I'll kill my microphone and then I will go between solo and unsolo so you can hear what it sounds like when I add the piano note noises and stuff like that. Okay, so here, killing the mic. I'm just gonna play. So I now have note offs. I got the harp noise when I push down the sustain pedal. But all sorts of insanity can happen because this is MIDI effects and GuruSampler. So it could be any sampler I want. I could have, when I push down, note down, I could say, no, I want it to be from the standard library. I want it to be in the bonus. I want it to be a drum kit. So I could say each time I push down, now it plays that. And I could choose what note I want it to play by just going here. Let's see. Did I mess up? I might have messed something up, but you get the point. Let me show you some other examples where I did do this. Included with MegaMagic keys is also, let's go to the Finder for a second and hide this. This is an 1870s pump organ from New Jersey. It's been in my family since forever. And I recorded it. And it's a pump organ, right? It's got these, let's see, I've got a picture here of the pedals. You pump those, you've got these little ratchets that you use your legs to ratchet, open and close. So inside of Unify, I recorded those as separate elements. So if you push down the sustain pedal, you get pumping. And then when I, let's see, go to Logic so I get the key back. And then I can play the keys. And I have MIDI filters ignoring sustain pedal so that it's not sustaining when. And when I let up on the sustain pedal, it plays squeaks. Because you got your knees on these things that you're playing. Now, without playing the sustain pedal, it's an organ without any pedal noise because I would pump furiously till it was full of air and then record me playing a note. And then I went down and I sampled it so that it loops without any pumping. So that way I could put in pumping with my feet. Thanks to TriggerBox. TriggerBox is letting all of this happen because all these different note offs, this does nothing on sustain pedal inner range, but we have one at excess range. So other examples of this is crazy. Let me show you. Inside of the piano library, I've designed what I call MegaMagic 2.0. This is where, if you recall with normal MegaMagic, the samples have the reverb baked into them. Well, that was because of Omnisphere and only one sample across the keyboard. Now, these maps have like 30 samples plus or more for the pianos across the keyboard. I started thinking about it and I was like, well, I can now make the reverb a separate instrument layer. So now there is the piano. This is the felt M1 upright. The third piano I recorded at my mom and dad's house is this right. Do I have a picture of it? Yeah, here. It's a U1 upright, and it has a middle pedal that brings down a layer of felt. It used to be called Practice, but we know it for the cinematic. It also makes this really soft, dreamy piano sound, right? Well, I recorded this as a separate layer of reverb. And I'm setting up parameters so you can play with this now. So you put this with the soft piano. You still have huge reverb. Let's do this. If I killed the reverb, it's just a piano, and I brought up the reverb to be really maxed. See how it gets really muddy? That's because it bleeds over into the other layers. But MegaMagic doesn't do that. But it's still really long reverb. Let me bring it really louder. And now I can do things. There's two types of MegaMagic. There's the this warm reverb. The second one is pitch shifting from Shimmerverb. And I have filtering, so I can bring up the attack so that the reverb fades in. Right? And look what's on the mod wheel. Rain. Isn't that cool? Thanks to TriggerBox. I have TriggerBox set up so that when CC1, my mod wheel, plays, and it gets beyond a certain range of 1, it sends a note on. And if I want it to be a different note for different frequency to the rain, we'll have to check that. I don't know if that's working quite right. But it will send different I might have this. Let me see this really quick. Yeah, it's pitched. Okay, we'll have to follow up on that because I don't know if that's working right. We're still in beta. All of them showing you will be available to all of you on the December 15th. So I've done this MegaMagic to both the felt and to the upright. Haven't done it to the grand piano yet. Here's the upright. And again, you've got control over the brightness of the reverb. And if you want, in the past, I got tech support emails from lots of people saying, can I make the reverb shorter? Can I make it less? Well, now you can. If you bring down the decay, now it goes away. Or I could have it fade in and then go away. Let's have it fade in a little faster. So you can shape the reverb on your piano. And mod wheel 1 in this case is the ocean. So we can and I have it set so that it's got a volume of this. So at the same time that it's playing it, I can play at the volume. So I can make my own wave action, do whatever I want. It's really cool. So 1.7 has some really, really cool abilities. Clavs where note offs will play samples, that those things will happen. I mean, there's so much that is exciting there. And I know what you all are saying. Skippy, I want to put my own samples into Unify now that I can trigger them this way and do all this mapping and stuff. No more rain, please. Well, okay, if you don't want rain, you can go to that layer for GuruSampler, and instead of rain, there's all these other environmental sounds inside of Unify. So we could say mountain natural ambience. Right? So you could put it your own thing. Now, let's say you want to do your own samples. That's where it gets exciting, because one of the updated things in Unify for 1.7 is GuruSampler is now able to access samples on any hard drive. In the past, they needed to be inside of the Unify folder, organized like we had it for our libraries and stuff. But for this update, they can now be anywhere. And you still need the patches to show up inside of GuruSampler, and I'll show you about that in a second. But one of the optional things you can purchase, we're doing our first purchase option beyond Unify with this update. And that's this application right here called SampleMapper. And we're gonna charge, so here's the thing, it's a little under what its price is, but there's things in the work to add to this application that will be free updates. So you're buying into, like, Unify, something that's going to have things added to it over time. So, all sorts of fun things like this. Now, what SampleMapper does is it is an application that allows you to, we have tabs up here, and other tabs will be added in the future, but we have a drum mode where you can just drag over files. They're added chromatically starting at a certain note. You could type C4 and it'll tell you what the MIDI note number is, or you could say 60 and it will tell you what note number it is that it's going to start. I'll show you this in a minute. Let me do this. Let's do a rundown of the things inside of Unify that are updated. I've shown you the biggies with the new effects. There's 4 effects. There's the 3 organ, Morgan Os, Morgan Cab, Morgan Perk. There's Trigger Box, which gives you the ability to have triggering of any layer in all sorts of different ways. So I could go, for example, just to show you an example of this. Let's say let's go grand piano. And let's go to the standard library, and I'm just gonna get a synth patch. Let's go synth and maybe something like Loud and Proud Brass. And let's load this into Unify in a new layer. Let's go over here into Unify Creative MIDI Effects. Here's Trigger Box. You don't even have to open up the details. That's what the presets are for. I want to say play sound on note off. And now it's playing the brass, and I can go to the details. It will play on note off. There's other things. If I wanted to play when I place the stand pedal on, it will do it. I think this is too short for it to. Oh, these presets aren't set right. Play a note, send a note on. There we go. Exclamation point. Yeah, so. So you can do stuff like that. And we're in beta still, so there's a few things to iron out there. But it's easy to use Trigger Box to any patch you want to become a note off or play on another trigger source if you want. It's really, really cool what it opens up. Other features. I have a little text document here I want to look at to make sure I don't miss anything, because there's a lot to this update. Some things are more under the hood, but as you saw the subsets, this allows you to create subsets where if I say Unify exclusive, these are libraries that are sold at the website, I can see that it's highlighted these libraries from all the libraries. If I go load and I go to unified libraries, then it's just the unified libraries. And all I have to do is hit close. And now when I hit this list, only the unified library shows up in my list. And we made a shortcut, so you can just right click on this, and that's the same as hitting load. And I could say all libraries. Here's normally what I would see from all the libraries. I've got unified libraries. I've got some Omnisphere plugin guru libraries. I've got the FM8 library and stuff like that. This allows me to simplify that list. There's times where I don't want to see all that. I just want to see the unified standard library. There it is. So the subset option is really handy for just quickly limiting this list that, in my case, I've had times where it like scrolls forever because there's so many unified libraries and plugin guru libraries and more coming. By the way, Retrosphere 1 is now available as a unified Omnisphere library. So that if you own Retrosphere 1, it's on the website. Just go read down the library and you'll get it there. If we go exclusives, let's just keep it at all for now, but that's really handy for some people. The other really cool visual thing you see is that load patch, load embedded, and load embedded fixed are now options down here. This allows you to determine without having to right click how Unify is going to work. So I could go to key, let's go key, and say, we're on all libraries. Let's just go to the Unify standard library really quick. So if I went over here and I said, here's my piano, And then if I change this to load embedded and I go to pad, I can now go, oh, I want to add vocoder Oz. And I didn't have to right click. And I could say, oh, I want to add a pad to this. Let's add Sonatarium. Turn it down. Turn it down even more. Brighter sounds are going to cut, right? So. And what's nice with this is I could go to any library. I could go to Hans Zimmer Zebra and go to Pneumatics. Click. And that's added. I could go over here and say add this. And now I've added that without doing any right clicking. So it just makes it really quick to be able to just change how Unify is going to work. Go load embedded and then go somewhere else. And now I can load these all just by clicking. So you don't have to right click if you set it to load embedded. So this is a really nice visual feature that we've added. Another thing that's really cool that's been added, if we go init, let's call it GuruSampler. There's a new cool update to GuruSampler. I'm gonna go to, let's go to BPM drum. Let's just get a kick really quick. That's here. I'm gonna go load embedded, so I can just click, and I now have, okay, inside of GuruSampler, I'm gonna turn on the filter. And I want to have a filter doing like that. Now, in the past, when you went synced, so it would follow clock. Oh, it's we gotta check this, Shane, because when it's off, it's still working right. It used to be that every time oh wait, I'm just playing a note. I need to have an arpeggiator playing. That's what really makes this, where this really comes into playing. So go up here. By the way, Blue Arp, version 2.8, and we have one of our customers made a new skin. So oh, I want it to be step type rest. So rest, 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 rest. There we go. So I have an ARP playing. This is where it's really obvious, of course. So normally when you set to clock, it no longer is able to keep cycling. It keeps restarting back at the beginning of the phase of the LFO. But if you turn on sync, it now will follow clock and run at the same time. So you could be clocked and follow along. So this was really a huge add. I love this. Because that's fun synthesis stuff, right? So that's been added to Unify 1.7. There's an auto drag of patches from your desktop or from any folder into Unify directly. So say that if I say reveal this inside of my desktop, let's say I wanted to, let's make sure that I'm set to just load a patch. If I go over here and I say sequence silk and I drag it over here and let go, that loads. I don't have to use the browser inside of here. I could drag from the Finder. One of the really big things that Shane spent a lot of time on is OSC support. There's full OSC support, so you can use an iPad to do everything you see on the interface of Unify, including loading patches, all that stuff. This is all kind of tied into the OSC support. Load CC parameter on knobs. that might be a tech support question to email us so we can communicate the details. Or don't forget, we do have forums at forums.pluginguru.com. Or if you have email for questions, unifysupport@pluginguru.com is our email address. Right? So that ability has been added. The OSC support's been added. There's these two options are a setting now here where you can turn them on and off, which is pretty cool. So if you don't want to see the patch count, or you don't want to see this load embed option, just go over here and say show patch count, no. Show patch load options, nope. Now you have the full list all the way down to the very bottom of the window, so you can choose what you want, and it works just as it did before. Okay. Let's see, what else have we got in here? Then SampleMapper. And what this allows us to do, let's do this. I wanted to get this set up, and I didn't actually have time to get this set up before. Let's go over to sample libraries. I have here, and then I need to go Guru, open in a new tab. Got to get a few things set up. So let's go to drum hits. Okay. So I'm going to have Unify hide for a second. It's called SampleMapper. And I'm going to use the drums for this first example. I have quite a few different drum hits. There's lots. Let's say Spark. I've sampled a whole lot of the drum samples from Spark, which is a plug-in from Arturia. Or I think these are maybe the samples that come from it. A lot of you guys, I've told you to go get the Break Tweaker. Let me show you that. That'd be really cool. Because Break Tweaker is available for like $5 or $15 or something like that on, I think it's Plugin Boutique. So if we were to go, I believe that is in sample libraries. Break Tweaker. Here's the Break Tweaker library. Here's where you put things if you buy one of our Plugin Guru Break Tweaker libraries. But if you go samples, at the very top of all this, you'll see these folders that are theirs. And so you could say, open these up, and let's go electro. A lot of these are BT and other composers you can see by the names. I'm going to open up this. I'm going to open up snare, electro. You see all the BT snares? Cool. These all are included with Break Tweaker. Hip hop. And then what you can do is I'm going to say, I want to start at C1. Oh, did I not C1? There. Capital C, not small c. And I could say I want to do, we're in snares, right? So let's do kicks first. So I could grab, let's say I grab like these kicks. And I'm going to go over here and grab these kicks. And then I want to go to another folder of basics. And let's grab these kicks. And I can drag all of these over. They're added sequentially starting at C1, chromatically up the keyboard to A1. And now I want some snares. So I'm going to go over here to the snares. Let's see, I made this kind of messy, so let's make it smaller. Then let's go back up here and say snare. Let's just go here, 5, some snares, and let's grab a whole bunch of BT snares. Drag those over. They are added chromatically, leading off with what I did last. So I can build my map just by dragging over what I want at a time. Say I want some Plugin Guru hi-hats. So we could go to the Plugin Guru hi-hats, and here's some Anabox samples and some Atama Bama and Dance Fest. Drag over, okay? So now I need to go to settings really quick because I could do it here, or I could actually do it here. Let's go drums and just hit save. And it doesn't matter, the samples are on an external hard drive, but I want this to be saved into libraries. Actually, at the above libraries, I have a folder called samples right here. This is where I want to make a folder that's going to be called Break Tweaker Drums. And I'm going to save this here, and I'm going to give it the name BT Rando Kit 1. Boom. Done. Just by doing that, now I just go back to Unify and I can open, let's see, init, go over here, call up a GuruSampler, and where it says standard library, go to the samples folder. And if you don't have one, you just make one really quick. This you'll see there's now Break Tweaker drums. Right here is Rando Kit. And I can transpose this down till I get to where they play. And they're supposed to be all there. They're not working quite right for some reason, but that's how it works. And then they work. So why isn't it working? That's strange. We're in beta. So again, this was working great. And we've been working overnight to get some things added to here. So I don't know what's going on there. The other cool ability is to go over here to Guru's. Let's go to this mass. And I'm going to load over a sample map. Let's see how this works. Fingers crossed. We're on the edge, my friends. Let's see. So over here, Guru Mass, Unified Development. I'm going to show you a little bit of something that's not even out yet. Let's see. Cutting edge. Okay, so here's a synth guitar kind of thing that I've been working on. Let's do this. I'm going to make a folder. I'm going to drag these samples over here so that they're not in the other folder, so you don't see other details about what I'm working on, because that's secret. Secret until you get a no. And because I've named these with names like this, where the last 3 or 2 characters at the end of the name are the name of the pitch of the samples, if I just drag this over to the notes, it will automatically determine, fix, map, and then all I have to do, I had this set to note numbers, but it still seemed to work. It should have been by note names. Let me do this. Let me clear it and do it one more time by note names. I think it's still smart and does the same. We also have the ability to set this to a parsing. So if you have complex names that have weird characters that you need to skip, like, no, don't look at that. That's and it's 1,000 samples from some library. You can do stuff like that. But this is just by names. If I go save, so I want to go back to Unify samples. Let's call this alias synth, or the name of the library is alias extreme. And then I have, if I want to make this even more detailed, I could say this is a synth folder. And then inside of there is where I'm going to save this alias synth. And by doing save to this, now when I go to GuruSampler, I got to probably pop over here and then pop back to here. There's now alias extreme and there's alias synth. And again, it's not playing. Okay. We'll figure this out, but it was working yesterday with the other version of GuruSampler. SampleMapper is just being revamped because we talked about some things we wanted to do on the interface and something's not connected. But by doing that, you'll then have it to where you can play the samples. As you can see, the samples show up, but it didn't get all the samples. So we got some troubleshooting, but that's why we're in beta. That's why it's not out right now. But this will be coming, and it worked for me to get all the piano samples over, so it has worked, it will work. Not sure what the deal is, but that's how it works. It's pretty straightforward. You have 2 modes right now, and there will be more options coming as things are updated for this in the future to making and adding samples to Unify even easier than this. So this is the step in the right direction. I'll be doing support videos on this. There's a whole bunch of videos starting out next Monday to come out. So there will be support for this for sure to show you how things work. Really exciting. So that's what we've been working on. SampleMapper, yeah. So with this, you can buy this little application and you'll have the ability to use a drum mode to chromatically load samples like a drum kit map that you want to play across the keyboard. Or notes where it will automatically detect the map and make the map for you based on the names in the samples. I'll tell you this, we're working towards having another tab in the future that will show you a keyboard so you can actually see on a keyboard where the samples are. So that will be included as a free update in the future to SampleMapper. There's other things in the work. It's a ongoing process, but this will let you take all of your samples on your hard drives, load them in a way that you can use inside of Unify. Makes maps that Unify loves to read. It's not working right now, but that's just because we did some stuff under the hood overnight that seems to have jiggled a wire that's not connected. So we'll figure that out. But it will work before we release it for sure. So hint, the price, SampleMapper was $39. And that will be with free updates to add more abilities to it. And with this, you can get your samples from anywhere into Unify. So we're excited for that. So that's the plan. Everything else I'm showing you with the update, the 4 plugins that come with Unify, those are free, as we've done with other maps. Okay, SampleMapper, take my money. Thank you, Darren. High five. Yeah, so that is our plan. And December 15th, we will have it all available to you and working. So beautiful stuff. Let me show you a little bit more about the piano library. I'm so excited about this, and it really shows off all these other features. Let's do this. Let me give you some video. I'll show you my. So it's kind of funny. It's called MegaMagic Piano MM keys, right? But there's another MM stands for my mama, because it's my mama's pianos and stuff. So check this out. I have some video I can play you. Let's get over here and get this to go away. I will show you this. I think this is the video I want to show. Yeah. So this is my mom's piano room. She teaches probably, I think it's about 45 students a week. She's almost 80, and she still teaches like all of these kids, and these kids are excelling. This is the U1 I sampled. This is where it sat. It's not in a professional studio. It's not with like really high-end recording gear per se. I used a pair, $1,000 for the microphones, $200 for the Tascam DR40X. It's a little noisy. I had to use some denoising on some of the soft samples. But it sounds incredible now. So, you know, I've been sampling a long time, so I know what I'm doing, thank God. So there's that. Someday maybe I'll sample the Electone organ. Other videos here. This is, I believe, the piano. This is where I recorded the piano while my mom and dad were in their bedroom sleeping at night. I sat and played my sample map, 1-note takes. I didn't go back and redo anything, and I am so thrilled that it came out so nice. 3 velocity samples. I played soft. In fact, you could actually, let's see, if we open up this Unify layer, I could mute all the other ones. Here's the soft map. Let's get the velocity window up so that it can play the full range of just the soft. No matter how hard you play, that's all you get. But if you take this and then you put it into really nice, yummy reverb, and it's the whole range down. I sampled the whole range. If you look at the list of samples, back in the Omnisphere day, everything was just 1 sample. If I like killed myself, I could have 8 samples. Now there's all of these samples in 1 map, and there's 3 maps plus noise maps. So it's a wonderful day to be able to have, let's open this up to be, now I'm gonna use the right click. Oh, I can't do it here, but I can go here on 127 have this go down to 1 or 0. So this is the medium velocity map of the grand. A little bit brighter. And let's see here. Let's get to be more normal. That's just one layer. And then the third layer, and I'm surprised I did not wake up my mom and dad. They were still sleeping while I played these. These are the velocity, the FFF. I played as hard as I could. Let's see, make sure I got the whole range. And they didn't wake up, so that was nice. Now, on top of that, there's the U1 upright. So we have, takes a second to load. Oh. I'm still working on the EQ, the samples. I think I can open that up a little bit more. Again, 3 velocity levels for this. So there's a soft, medium, and high. And then the felt. And I love, love, love how this turned out. The hard velocity sounds almost like a piano. But if you compare and change this from the felt to the U1 fortissimo, well, not the fortissimo, because like upright. This U1, because my mom's been teaching students for like 25, 30, actually like over 25 years with this piano. The hammers are really hard, so it's that kind of a thing. But there's other places this can go too. The P, soft piano. Here's, it's just, this is pure gold. Then there's all sorts of things I can show you. This is like felt cinematic. So you, it's just beautiful. So, really happy. Now, there's BPM pianos I haven't made. I'm actually going to do some tests using a hammer and hitting tacks to make a tack piano as a separate layer you add to a piano. Now you have a tack piano instead of like replacing all the hammers with real physical steel hammers like some people have done in sample libraries, which is very cool, very different sound. The other thing on top of this is, let me show you this. This is the softest samples of the C3. And you can take this to be dreamy with effects, which is really nice. We have a shift option inside of Unify to take those same samples if I go over here, I can show you. Make it brighter. It's a trick. This has been around since the M1. We did this to make different grand pianos in the Korg M1, where you would transpose the map up, but then there's a sample transpose that could go an octave down, minus 1200 cents. And by doing that, you would shift it to where you're playing a different map of samples, but then you would shift the samples up or down to transpose those samples to be playing at the pitch that they used to be mapped at, but now it's shifted the sample. So you end up with this really cool, whole different vibe. This is also something you'll find inside of Omnisphere, has a shift. So I can use that to get some kind of cool, even moody. And then on top of this, here, I'll do it from scratch so you guys can see. Go to the Unify standard Distortion Chow tape model. There's some wonderful, so many cool things in here. You can go to degrade, turn this on as you bring this up, and the depth. You can control the color of the noise. Variance. It's been like ran over a couple times. And then envelope allows it to be, oh, it's gonna hit my CPU. It does the thing where now it's mapping so that the map and the noise follows the volume. And then go over here to wow, bring up wow, slow it down, give it some variance. And then, if you really want to make this complete, let's see, we could go to chill guitar phrases, BPM drum, something like here, load this into Unify, and then go to tempo. And now you have yourself a really cool retro groove piano. And if you want to make it even messier, you could go to the Chow tape model. There's all sorts of things for the tape. You could go saturating and overdriving. And this is actually really complex. You notice that the CPU hits a little high. These are actual physical models of these characteristics. So it's more than just putting a chorus effect on. Right? So you can turn anything into cool retro land with this library. There will be all sorts of pianos like that. There's both the grand pianos like that, and I also did some like old needle lo-fi felt. So there'll be all sorts of stuff for anywhere from cinematic to heavy metal, rock. We'll have all that covered so you can do everything with this library. And this library will sell for $99 retail. I'll have an introductory price for it. So you get two pianos, 3 if you count the felt, plus an 1870s pump organ for under $100. So that's going to be coming out on December 15th as well. So how is Fresh Air on this piano? You mean the band Fresh Air? Great. I don't know their songs off the top of my head, but I hope for MegaMagic pads for Contact. MegaMagic pads exists for Contact already. What do you think about a community Christmas library that we have songs for Christmas? I don't think we'll do a Christmas songs library. But if you want to do a Christmas song and share it on the forum with people, that'd be cool. Oh, I want to point out before we Retrosphere 2 is still, people are loving it. It's out now. It's on sale still for $39. It's not the Black Friday price, but that was just a once a year thing. This is a library that I love. And there will be, on the 15th, a free update to this library too, giving you 20 more new patches that are going to be really, really cool. No, MegaMagic pads exist for Omnisphere. No, Daniela, I'm sorry to have to correct you, but MegaMagic pads, when you buy MegaMagic pads, it comes with a version of the library. Here, I'll even show you. Let's go over here. There's multiple downloads when you buy MegaMagic pads. It's one of the few libraries where I created, you can buy it as a separate product, but if you go right here, MegaMagic pads, there's a file that is included when you buy MegaMagic pads for Omnisphere and Wave and Contact that has this MegaMagic pads-wave. And if you go over here and you go to Contact, and then I'll make this as simple and direct as possible. You just go over here. When you see the MegaMagic pads for Contact right here, all you have to do is go to one of these. Let's see here. Go to one of the patches, drag over. I got to say search Spotlight. It will find what it needs. And hopefully, there. It loads up MegaMagic pads. For Contact. And you have filters, you have EQ, you have reverb, you have the filter and amp EG. This is included when you buy MegaMagic pads, period, guaranteed. It also comes, as you can see, with support for EXS24, which works with the new EXX, the new sampler inside of Logic Pro. Serum TX16W is also supported if you get the free TX16W sampler. We made all the presets for it as well. So I guarantee you, when you buy MegaMagic pads, you can use it inside of the full version of Contact. Yes, but not in Unify with the knobs. No, I haven't unified the library. That's correct. That's correct. I haven't done that yet. It's one of those things when you're building Contact, you have to set up these parameters for automation before you do it. And otherwise you don't have real-time control over these knobs inside of Unify. So I never did that because I already built the library and it would take a huge amount of work to go back and reprogram everything to that. So it just exists as a Contact library, but it works if you have contacts. You don't have to have Omnisphere. That's close enough. I probably could try to make it a unified library. Okay, yeah, we'll make it into a unified library. I have a list of still 20 some of my libraries, at least, that need to be unified. So we're just going down the list. There's over 50 that are now unified. So we're getting there. It's a lot of work. Okay, you have the libraries. Okay, we will work on that. I don't know when we'll do that. We're very busy with everything else. There's other libraries that I want to get unified. I will tell you this, in 2022, one of my goals is to make Unify native versions of all of those libraries, and they'll be really affordable. I'm not going to make them super expensive, or not even $39, probably less than that, or $39 for the full versions in Unify. Next year will be the year I'm going to try to focus and get those libraries available. It's an awful lot of work, but we will do it. Okay? So, yes, we'll put that to the list to do. That's something that is possible. We've done that for there's other libraries that are available for Contact. So we will do that for 2022. Okay, then Christmas present, it's done. No guarantee. I've got a lot on my plate. So there's only one of me making patches. There's only one of Shane doing well, I can have Taylor work with me too, but we'll figure it out. But yeah, we'll get there. Okay. Any questions? I'm going to tell you that starting Monday, I have quite a few tip videos that I'm going to start releasing for Unify for Christmas. And these are the topics that I've got so far. If you guys have any topics, how to, or how do I, or how can I, email unifysupport@pluginguru.com with your question, and I'll turn it into a video. Okay. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Okay. So if you have ideas of other topics, these will be short videos, 1 minute, 3 minutes, 5 minutes. I always say it's going to be 1 minute long, then it ends up being 40 minutes. So, oh, good, Louis. Thank you. So until next Sunday, Unify Retrosphere 2 is available for $39. After that, it goes to this retail price of $49, but it's great. I wanted to show you, one of our customers did a killer demo. If you want to do, if you're a professional musician, or else if you can create professional level music, I can't just offer this blanket for just if you do a demo song. But if you can do really nice demo tracks, I would love to promote your work, put it into our playlist on SoundCloud, but I'll also give you a choice of any library on my website in exchange for the use of the demo. But it has to be kick-ass demo. I don't want, a lot of people are learning music and just getting into it. Wave to the 80s, was just created. Let's see, what was his name? I don't want to forget his name. Simon Bruin. Killer track. You can go to SoundCloud and hear the whole thing. Just sweet, fat 80s waveforms. Isn't that great? Oh, you can't hear it. Here, let me shoot this into Logic so you can hear it, because it's so good. All right, this is a really cool demo. Let's go over here. So check this out. Ready? So this demo is available to go to the SoundCloud or on the Plugin Guru page. I actually haven't done it yet. I need to add this to, let's see if I can do it here. Let's see, I need to go add this to this playlist. There. So this is just Retrosphere 2, just Unify. Cool stuff. So if you want to do a demo, I pay for demos by giving you free libraries. So pick out something you want to do a demo for, one of the current libraries, and send me your work. Unify support at pluginguru.com. Yeah, that's something I'll happily add to anybody. But yeah, so can you make a trance patch with the BBC Discovery Library? There's a whole bunch of stuff inside of the BBC. Let's see, Core Station. All of these BPM string things, a lot of these are set up for trance. So if you go like competitive edge, it'll take a second for this to load because it needs to load the samples, but to turn something into trance, you probably want to put some sort of dynamics on it. So pump house. Go over here. Then go over to the standard library. This is where it gets really fun to do something with one of the BPM split patches. Do like something with like from Berlin with Love, load into a new Unify layer. And this is where you got to go to MIDI box and do some time shifting to get to be really tight, because the strings in BBC have a little bit of extra air at the beginning. And then if you want, this is where you got to be creative with your programming, but you can go in and replace the samples. You could go to the kick, body. He has this all going down to a bus. Let's see, where's his bass? Oh, he's also got these going down to its own separate bus. He did a lot of crazy stuff here where this is the bass, You could do playing and programming and changing sounds. Use melodic trance would be a great way to work. Yeah, I know it's not the right speed. I'm not making a trance track right now in the live stream, but the tools are there to do that. So 135. Yeah, this one wouldn't work for that because it's a 16th note. So in this case, I would probably go to the strings and take them to halftime. And let's unsolo the bass so we can hear what's going on here. So if you get something that you call up and it's like 16th notes and it's too fast, remember in MIDI box, you can go here to the fractionals and set to quarter notes if you want to. And then if you really need techno, then you need the Serum library that Airwave did, which is just incredible. If you don't have Omnisphere, the Airwave libraries for Omnisphere are just some of the best libraries for Omnisphere by anybody, in my opinion, just for what is there. Those also need to be unified. That's on the list to do. So now we need to make some jazz trance. No, speed 320. I love it. Let's make it, yeah, 300 beat per minute trance. That's coming in 2022. Totally understand. But yeah, that's up to you to design. 650. Okay, let's do this. You guys are asking for it. Let's say 8-1. Oh, my computer can't take it. I'm playing it. I mean, listen to what the strings are doing. If you didn't have Pump House, it'd just be a mess. But Pump House allows you to... And you could actually just use that and then go to the BPM kick. That'd be really cool. Load into new unified layer, no pitch shift. And then what I would do inside of the Retrosphere 2 library, I'll show you a cool trick. One of the BPM bass patches right here, Night Rider. If you load this into Unify, this loads up a new set of presets using Blue Arp that Saif Samir created. And these are all sorts of really cool dance, trance, synthwave. See, it's down an octave. Let's duplicate this and have it be FM because I want something that's got a little bit of snaps. Let's go DX. Go to the cart. I could go to some of the patches that I have from, God, so many different places and go basics, for some basses. That works. You know, it's experiment. Trance is all about experimenting, setting things up, and then playing with sounds. So, transcendental. You guys are funny today. Okay. Any questions? I want to make sure you guys are all clear with what comes with this update. It's huge in scope to have. Organ is now. Let's combine this with the new piano. Let's go C3, add that. Let's take it down an octave. And then you could go to the drop bars and out. Again, the graphics on my computer is so slow. And for some reason, because of the way my computer is working, it's not letting me hear them. Lovely. Love it when things don't work. It works. I guarantee you this stuff works, even though it's not working for me right now. There's a gremlin in my computer. Dear Apple, I wish they would have showed their new Pro Max that are tower based because I need a new computer for. I'm working kind of with a Frankenstein 2011 Mac and it's starting to show its age. Oh, anyway, I hope that gets the idea. What about Unify with an iPad Pro? The iPad Pro would be for like control of the Unify experience with TouchOS if you wanted to set that up. There's no compatibility per se, although there are things you can do with having. Well, no, we don't have that happening. No, it's mainly just for control at this point. I know. 60 terabyte. Yeah. Well, I just bought a new 8 terabyte hard drive just over a day or two ago at Costco. Yes, much less room than a real organ and the Leslie speaker. So I'm just really excited for all this stuff coming. So you guys are gonna love all this new stuff. Lots of fun things for Christmas. So, wow, 14 terabytes. Well, it's not technically it's not technically physical modeling for the organ. It's a form of synthesis to have the waveforms. Shane worked really hard on getting the right tonality for it, but it's not physical model based. Yeah, you can do it. You can definitely connect iPads to Unify and work with them together in conjunction. There's all sorts of cool things you can do. I don't do a lot of that, but you can go there for sure. But the MegaMagics in this are just so exciting to have. I just sit and play these for so. So, yes, you do have physical drawbars and stuff like that. It's just, when people start talking physical and AI, they start thinking they're talking about, complex physical stuff. And this, I've worked with physical modeling models, and that's not what we're doing here. But yes, you do have a physical representation for drawbars, and it's really cool. I love the graphics that Shane came up with, even though they're not updating very well for me. Yeah, see, I go to move it and it just, anyway, but yeah, I love the look of this. It's really nice. Now, here's what's funny. I can go like this. I can click, right? See how slow it is? But if I close and reopen it, it's back to where it was. So, but this is my computer. This is my fun to deal with. I don't know if it has to do with doing the live stream and video streaming and so forth and that's like that. Yes, OS control will be great with Morgan because when you get to the knobs and you go to the link parameter assignments for Morgan, if you go to Morgan, each of the drop bars is a controller source to select. So you'll be able to have all 8 drop bars on an interface on your iPad to bring up and down. This week, Shane spent like a good deal of time getting everything to be smooth so that the volumes, you can bring them in and out and there's no the glitchy stuff that sometimes happens when you do parametering. When is available to download? December 15th. That's the day we're going to try to release the floodgates on Unify Update, MegaMagic Keys, and SampleMapper. All 3, plus an update to the patches inside of Retrosphere 2. That will be now the sale ends the 12th, so maybe I'll make it so I'll try to get the patches. There's 20 coming for Retrosphere 2. They'll come out before the 12th. Let's do that. I'll do some work in the next couple days between now and the 12th. I've got some BPM basses I want to add. I have some more BPM splits I want to add. Yeah, that will be coming out. So, but yeah, SampleMapper. Yeah, so you guys can get all your own samples into Unify. I'm sorry I couldn't show it working today. I'm not sure what the hang up is, but it does work. It works great. It's really cool. You can drag and drop to the drum map. So that what's really great with that is it allows you to just choose samples from different folders and different places on hard drives. It doesn't matter, to build a map. So, and as long as you don't move those samples, if you move those samples, you're a host. But Morgan will be free. The thing I've been showing with the organ patches, with the piano patches with Trigger Box, that is also included for free. So this cool little MIDI effect that does all sorts of wonderful sustain off. We also have probability on the notes, which is really cool. So many of these, when you take your hands off the keys, it just always gives you that keyboard off sound, but we can actually set it to a probability. So you can say 50% of the time. So it doesn't always do it. And I find it to be a little bit more realistic to do it that way instead of having it be there all the time. Because on a piano, there's different rules. It's physical. And they don't always make the same sounds. And they don't always like make lots of sound at all. So it just seems to be a little bit more, yes. Yes. So trigger box and patches that use trigger box will be included with the standard library and with Unify 1.7. This library, MegaMagic Keys, is a separate library that will be retail $49. Actually, no, it's $99 retail. Sorry, because of all the work I've done. This is 3 trips to Idaho, hours of sampling, hours of sample editing, a lot more work than any other library I've done. So it's up there in price due to the amount of effort to make it happen. But it's been worth the work. I've been working on this for a while now, and cool. All right, well, thank you all for joining along. Yeah. You wish on the servers, if you want to email us at tech support, we could find it for you, but I don't know why you'd want to go back. There's so much added that makes Unify funner to use and easier to use, but email tech support, Daniela, if you really want to go back. We can help. Okay? Thank you so much for your support. If you have questions, email us unifysupport@plugandgroove.com. If you have ideas for videos, unifysupport@plugandgroove.com. Send us a note with your how to do something, how can I do something, how does something work, and we will put that on the list to make a video. And yeah, okay. Thanks you all. Be well. Just yeah, communicate with us offline if you need specific help. Okay. All right. Bless you all. Have a great week. We'll see you soon.